To lead off our discussion of board leadership and organizational management, let's read some selections from Carver's Policy Governance Model Guidebook. The first section we'll read has to do with board policies that precede and are separate from all other decisions and documents. This section of his guidebook basically lays out the idea that board policies have a sort of first status. They are the most important elements that the organization's governing board provides to the organization. Its policies precede all other decision making, all other appointments to positions of leadership. It really is the starting point for the organization's management, direction, governance. It's where everything begins, is the board's policy process. And so we'll read a section here that deals with that. Then after we've discussed that, and I'll let you take as much time as you need to kind of review that, and would hope that at the end of readings that you can make some comments in the chat or discussion section popularly. But once we've read that section, then we'll turn our attention to a second section entitled Assigning Expectations and Authority Without Duplication. In this section of the guidebook, Carver really tries to explain why he believes that the chief governing officer, the CGO, and the CEO, the chief executive officer, in their roles must be separate and not commingled or confused or duplicated. He's a firm believer in having clean lines of responsibility and authority, and where there is confusion, where there is a kind of intermingling, is a place where the governing board and the chief executive officer will almost always run into conflict, because someone will assume they have authority that the other is taking, and responsibility will be shifted from one group to the other in an inappropriate way, and so no one takes responsibility. Fingers get pointed and so on. So he's very, very clear that this boundary between chief governing officer, the chairman of the board usually it would be called, and the CEO, the executive officer of the organization, have clear, sharp distinctions in their roles and responsibilities and the authority they have. So that's the second section we'll read. So let's start with the first section. And again, at the end of each of these readings, and I'll read them out loud, you can read them yourself if you want to turn my voice off on your audio. But go ahead and listen to this and think it through. Go back over it if you need to understand what they're talking about in each of these sections, and then we'll discuss them each separately. Okay?